Welcome to Superhuman Customs. I'm Stephen Human, and today we got something a little bit different. So I found Man-at-Arms from the Masterverse line, 50% off, so he's 15 bucks. And he's got all kinds of extras. He's got an extra head, which I always need extra heads, so that will go in my box. But we're gonna customize this guy a little bit today. We're gonna ding him up, we're gonna make him look cool. He'll go on the Master of the Universe shelf, it's kind of like my 80s character shelf, is really what it is. But I'm excited because I love Man-at-Arms and I've loved these figures because they're 7-inch. They match the McFarlane ones that we usually do on the show. And I just think this is gonna turn out awesome. So let's go ahead and play around with some of these parts, see how we're gonna make him look, and then let's customize. All right, here's what he looks like out of the box. We're gonna turn him into a more classic version, putting all of this stuff on. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna ding it up and just make it a little bit more messy. I want him to look like he's at war. So let's get started. First things first, I want the classic head, but I don't want his long hair. So we're just gonna cut it off nice and simple. And this is what we're gonna use for the head. We're gonna save the other head for, I don't know, sometime in the future. If I need a bearded head, I've got one. And that's one of the reasons why I got this guy, because 50% off, 15 bucks, that works. And it gives me some extra fodder for later on. Real quick, here's another tip. So this is the back of his hair, right? I'm gonna keep this with my other stuff in my extras drawer. I never know when I'm gonna need a piece like this. I don't know when or if I'll ever need it, but if I need hair or something or a beard, I don't know. This could be my saving grace piece. So I'm just gonna throw it in. Keep this sort of stuff because you never know when you're gonna need it. All right, so here he looks switched out. So you can see some pretty major differences. He looks much more classic. I do wish he had more pieces to go on the legs and stuff, but you know, it's not like I can do much about that. I might see if I have any extra pieces hanging around. I would like something more on the other arm and on the legs here, but as it stands, he's a pretty cool Man-at-Arms. So let's go ahead and move into making him look battle-worn. Now, as you guys know, normally I don't care for cloth capes, but this is actually, it's really thick and I like it. Plus it has, a good sort of, it gives him a good look. So I'm gonna keep this. Normally it's the crappy capes like what came with the Flash figures, the Flash movie figures. They had terrible capes. This is a good cape, so I'm gonna keep it. I looked to see if there was anything in my extras drawer that could possibly, like, I could glue on somewhere and make this guy look a little bit more Man-at-Arms-ish, because he had more stuff here and here, but I couldn't find anything. So my plan is, with his giant gun that he has, it shows in the pictures that he kind of holds it over here on his shoulder. So I'm just gonna plan on doing that, and that'll look pretty cool. So that being the case, our first thing is to get this guy washed, get him dirtied up. That is gonna be our first line of business, and I'm gonna do it everywhere. I'm gonna put some on his face because he needs it. He looks very cartoony, and obviously the other ones I have, the Hordak and stuff, they all have a cartoony ness to them. But what I did to the Hordak really worked out really nicely. And that's what I'm gonna do here with Man-at-Arms. So we're just gonna start by going all over everything with our trusty dusty wash, just our Vallejo game wash, and then we will go from there. But already, he's looking better. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a little bit on the cape, just to start out dirtying up the cape too. So just a little bit, but that will, again, add textures to the cape as well, make it look worn, battle ready. And if his weapon is gonna be an integral part of the displayability of this character, we cannot leave it untouched. So we're gonna do the exact same things to it that we're gonna do to the figure itself. So we're gonna add the wash, make it so that it's got some nice textures to it, and then add some battle damage and some dings and stuff like that. Now that he's dry, we're just gonna go through with some silver. We're gonna catch some of these edges, just a little bit. Make it look like it's been scraped a bit. I'm gonna kind of move them around. See, because you can get them where they're really strong, or you can just kind of dry brush them on. And that adds a little bit more of texture to it. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna hit some areas really hard And I'm going to hit some areas really lightly. And we're going to have a bit of a mix of textures, which I think will look the best. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go through here, add a little bit of big, add a little bit of small, and make this guy look cool. Same thing with the boots. I'm actually going to silver up these rivets, because that's going to make them stand out a lot more. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing. A couple strikes here or there. Just make it look like Man-at-Arms has seen better days. Now that we got the dings and stuff, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some brown to these patches. He's got some patches in a couple places. There's not as many now that we've got the breastplate on, but he's just got some patches. I'm going to make them brown. And I'm also going to brown up these straps here on this little, whatever it is, cannon, or I have no idea. So I'm just going to do that. I'll probably end up taking it off his arm to get this one here. But for now, this is a really easy way to do it because I don't have to put my hands anywhere. And so I can just kind of get in there and paint it. And I think at that point, it'll be time to muddy him up. Mud. Just the same way we've done it before. Just put it around a little bit light. Get it on there. And add those details. And this guy really needs them. Like, I'm surprised, because normally for cartoon characters, I don't like doing this as much. When it comes to mud and stuff like that, I like the movie characters, but for some reason, this character for me really needs it. Maybe it's because it is Man-at-Arms, and he does look like he's been through it in this particular, you know, how the suit is and the beard and stuff. It looks like he's been through more than he had in the cartoon. And so I'm going to just add these details. Now I'm going to do a little bit of the brown wash on the cape. I'm going to do the brown wash here as well. This is the lighter mud texture. The other one wasn't really working so well on the cape, but this one seems to. So we're just going to hit some of these edges again with this lighter mud wash. Nice and simple, and here he is. I really like how he turned out. Like I said, I don't usually do a lot of detail on the more cartoony figures, which this definitely is, but he needed it, and I think it made a huge difference on this guy, just like it did with Hordak when we did that one. He looks great. I'm very excited to have him as a part of my He-Man collection. I collected He-Man when I was 5 years old. I had a Man-at-Arms. To me, this is a part of my childhood, and so being able to make them mine and original is fun. Now, when you guys watch these, I oftentimes move really fast. It's just kind of how I do it, and oftentimes I do not take the time that I should be taking when it comes to getting things perfect, and that's something that I'm working on. So don't be afraid to take a little bit more time to make sure that things get just the way you want, or that they're just a little bit more perfect. That's one thing that I'm going to be working on here in the future, is just taking a little bit more time and making things a little bit more perfect. Luckily with this guy, it wasn't about perfection. It was about dinging him up and making him ugly. And so this played to my strength. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, tell your friends. I'm Stephen Human. Check out StephenHuman.com for all of my novels. I am a novelist. I write sci-fi thriller novels like Twilight Zone and Black Mirror, stuff like that. Thrillers, you guys will love them. Check them out, StephenHuman.com, and I'll see you guys next week.